Welcome to the video Coping with Alopecia 15 Tips for Success by Alopecia UK. In today's video, we'll go through some different ways to help deal with your alopecia and also hear from some people directly about things that have helped them.
Alopecia may not be life-threatening, but it can be life-changing. It is okay to feel upset or angry about losing your hair. There are some very difficult emotions to manage and some physical changes to get used to. However, in time, it is possible to live happily and confidently with alopecia.
This is not to say that you have to be happy or even okay about losing your hair. It's okay not to be okay. In fact, it is important to acknowledge that it can feel unfair, distressing, or frustrating. This can leave us feeling sad and even a bit angry. You might find that sometimes other people don't understand what it's like to lose their hair, and they may say things that are insensitive, unhelpful, or dismissive of our feelings. It is okay to feel upset about this because your feelings are valid.
Tip 3 comes from Alopecia UK ambassador and double Olympic champion cyclist Joanna Rousseau. Her tip is around focusing on the things you can control rather than the things you can't.
Hello everybody, my name is Joanna Rousseau. I have had alopecia areata for as long as I can remember, but I first lost all my hair aged 10. Since then it's grown back a couple of times, but most of the time this is me. My top tip for coping with alopecia is finding something else in your life that you really enjoy doing, that you've got some control over. So one of my mantras is focusing on the controllables. So don't worry about things that you can't control. So for me, I cannot control if my hair grows, but I can control so many other things in my life. So whether that is a hobby or whether that's studying something or whether that's a sport, that is something that has really helped me deal with alopecia, have something else that I am in control of. So when I was younger, that was sport, and I worked really hard at cycling and eventually became Olympic champion. While that might not be for everybody, it was something that was in my control and really gave me a passion and something to distract from things that I couldn't control. So that helped me a lot. Best wishes, thank you.
Your thoughts are very biased. They are based on your past experiences and your own opinion of yourself. We are often our own biggest critic. However, your thoughts are not facts. They are opinions based on those experiences. Try and see beyond your own thoughts. Ask others what they think. You might want to try the following. Imagine what you would say to a loved one who was having the same negative thoughts as you, or perhaps ask a loved one for their opinion.
How you think affects how you feel and how you act. If you have negative thoughts, it's likely you will feel down, and you are then less likely to do things. For example, if you're not happy with your appearance, you might not want to go out and see your friends. However, by not seeing friends and not doing things, you spend more time on your own, and it's likely that that time will be spent thinking and then feeling more down. It becomes a vicious cycle. To break that cycle, we need to change what we do. It's important to try not to withdraw from your usual activities.
The tip from Alopecia UK ambassador Joelle is to surround yourself with people who love and care for you.
Hi, I'm Joelle. I am an ambassador for Alopecia UK. I have alopecia universalis and I found out that I had alopecia when I was 8 years old. I had just come back from holiday and my mum actually noticed that my hair was really matted and really knotty. And then from then on, over a short period of time, all of my hair fell out. Some advice I have for people who are having a tough time with alopecia is to surround yourself with people who love you and who care about you, whether that's family or friends. And I know it's not the same for everybody and everybody goes about things differently, but from my experiences and after having met many people with alopecia, one thing that I hold on to is to be surrounded by people who love you, even if it's just one person, and to surround yourself with good people.
Try to acknowledge your positives. You are so much more than how you look, but alopecia can make it very difficult to focus on anything else. Try to take some time to think about all the things you can do well and all the things that people say are your good qualities.
Many of us are guilty of comparing ourselves to others. whether that be the friends around us or celebrities on TV or in magazines. But we are all unique, and it can be damaging to your self-esteem to make these comparisons. If you compare yourself to someone else, remember, they may have their own body image struggles that no one knows about.
Tip number 9 comes from Emmy and BAFTA award-winning composer and Alopecia UK ambassador, John Altman. His tip is around not allowing alopecia to take charge of you.
Hi there, my name is John Altman and I'm an ambassador for Alopecia UK. I have alopecia totalis, which I developed in 1999. It took about 3 weeks from the inception to becoming fully formed, as it were. At first, I found it very challenging because I'd spent my whole life looking like one thing, and then suddenly I didn't look like that anymore. But I came to terms with it fairly quickly. A friend of mine said, "Don't let it take charge of you, you take charge of it." And as soon as she said that, off I went. Anyway, I was in the middle of writing music for a movie called RKO 281. I guess at that time I thought, well, everything is going to change. It's my creativity is going to go out the window. I'm going to struggle, etc., etc. I wrote the music for the film. The film came out, and a few months later, they very kindly gave me this for the music. So I just wanted to say that don't let alopecia beat you. You can beat it. It won't affect your life. You'll still carry on. You'll be who you are. That never changes. And here we are 21 years later, and I'm still standing, as it were. Bye-bye.
When we are diagnosed with alopecia, it can feel like the end of the world. But dealing with alopecia can bring unexpected benefits. The inner strength you start to develop can help you learn new ways of dealing with problems and lead to new ways of looking at the world. Many people get in touch with the charity to tell us that their experience with alopecia has helped them feel like they're a better person. People tell us they're less quick to judge others on their appearance and are more accepting of the differences of others. Alopecia UK staff member Kelly shares just that feeling of alopecia providing her with new opportunities.
Hi everyone, my name's Kelly and I work for Alopecia UK. If you'd asked me a couple of years ago how I felt about alopecia, my response would be very different to the one that it is now. I've had frequent episodes of telogen effluvium since I was a teenager. And then in 2015, just as I left university, I developed alopecia areata. For the most part, I would say it was only the closest people that knew about my hair loss. But that meant that there were a lot of people in my life that didn't know how frightened I was. Having thick hair, I was able to hide it and conceal it quite a lot. But then when I would wash my hair or brush my hair, I then wasn't able to hide it from myself anymore. But that's kind of not the side of things I want to talk about. Yes, I'm really lucky my hair has grown back for the moment, but alopecia has given me a lot. Although that's definitely not a perspective I would have had a little while ago. For one thing, it's given me a job with Alopecia UK, which I love. The people I work with, and that includes you watching this clip now, just really make my life really wonderful. Experiencing hair loss a lot throughout my life, I hope at least, has made me a much more empathetic person, and that's from people with more backgrounds and kind of walks of life, not just on the alopecia side of things. Ultimately, it shaped my entire career and my personal goals as well, so that's pretty cool. Every day I get to wake up and I want to help people, which is a really nice feeling. I wouldn't say that I have a definite tip, but if you can, at least maybe on your good days, maybe alopecia can be something that opens doors for you too, or at least, doesn't close them. Don't let it do that. You're great.
In times of high stress and anxiety, stress hormones are released which lead to a range of responses in the body. All of these things can feel very uncomfortable and sometimes frightening, but relaxation can reduce stress levels and help our bodies to relax. Consider looking into relaxation activities such as mindfulness, meditation, yoga, tai chi, or other exercise to help manage any stress you might be feeling.
There are lots of different appearance options for those with alopecia. You might choose to wear wigs, hats, scarves, or go without any head covering, or you might mix up your options. It's important to choose what is right for you and try not to let the opinions of others impact on your choice. We are all individuals, and what feels right for one person with alopecia might not feel right for another. Alice tells us about why going without her wig is the best option for her.
Hi, I'm Alice Austin. I'm 32. I've had alopecia since I was at primary school. My advice would be to not let your alopecia define you and to not feel trapped into wearing a wig if that isn't something that you want to do. And I appreciate that's sort of easier said than done. And it's taken me a long time to fully accept myself for who I am and for my alopecia. And it wasn't until I turned 30 that I thought, right, I'm not going to let me having a wig stop me from doing things that I want to do. So, you know, I would force myself to wear a wig at all times. So I'd go on holiday on, you know, really hot sunny beach and be sweltering wearing a wig, not be able to enjoy myself and go into the water, into the sea. Also, I stopped playing netball, which is something that I really enjoyed because a wig came off in a match, so I just stopped playing that. I tried to go back by wearing a headscarf, and I just felt like I stood out like a sore thumb. And in my head I thought that people were going to turn around and stare at me and look at me. And people don't do that. People don't look at you the way you think they're going to look at you. So I know if other people have experienced bullying at school, you expect people to be really cruel when actually they're not like that at all. And you know, other people have got their own anxieties and hang-ups, and actually a lot of good has come from me going out to the store in my without my wig on, and actually bumping into other people who've also got alopecia, which I wouldn't have known about because they wear a wig, and you know, sort of saying that I met a woman once and she said that she didn't even let her cat see her without a wig on, and she'd stopped doing things that she wanted to do, like going to the swim and sauna and Zumba. And I just think it's such a shame, you know, you've only got one life, and I just think to deny yourself opportunities and doing things that you want to do is just such a shame. And I know taking that first step is going to be really hard, but honestly it will really be worth it. And it's just such a liberating experience to just go out without your wig. And for instance, you know, if it's a windy day, not being worried about your wig and it blowing, and if you want to go on your bike and it's windy, you know, and it puts you off doing things that you want to do. So I would just say, you know, just be brave, be bold, and just go out there and you will not regret it. And since I've been doing it, I've never had anybody say anything mean or you know, cruel. So I'd just say, just do it.
Think about your reactions to feeling down or stressed. You might feel tired and sleep more, or you might drink more alcohol or smoke more. Try and think about how you can develop some healthy routines to help manage your mood. There is evidence that making positive changes can improve your well-being. For example, exercise can help to release our feelings in a positive way. Or consider that the types of foods we eat can affect our mood. A balanced diet not only helps to keep you healthy, but also keeps the mind healthy and happy too. If you feel physically better, this will help your mood. In this next clip, Inga tells us about her experience of incorporating yoga and good nutrition into her daily routine.
Hello, my name is Inga-Lisa. I'm 57 years old, and I started losing my hair about 3 years ago, exactly 3 years ago. It was an awful shock, and I didn't get really depressed, but I've just stayed at home a lot and starting to occupy myself. I started to do yoga on YouTube, and really got into fitness, so I keep myself healthy and got into good nutrition, and although my eating habits and my lifestyle was pretty healthy already, but I was more interested in nutrition and really got into yoga. After a year or so, I started to attend classes, and I started wearing wigs, which I quite liked. I was quite brave enough to take my wigs off at the yoga studios because it was too uncomfortable to wear a wig or even a headscarf or anything like that. So I felt quite liberated. But I'll take my wig off so you can see this is how I am.
Alopecia UK trustee Ruth found that being more publicly open and talking to those close to her is what truly helped her accept her alopecia.
My name's Ruth. I have alopecia universalis. I was diagnosed when I was 18 and I'm now 32, so I've had it for 14 years. When I was first diagnosed with alopecia, I was really closed about it. I didn't like to talk about it other than to my close family, and I really tried to hide it, so I wore wigs for the majority of the time for many years. And it was only when I opened up publicly and started talking to my friends openly about it that I really felt like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders, and it made me feel so much better to be able to share some of my anxieties and my worries with my friends. And they were so supportive and really helped me come to terms with my alopecia and feel comfortable in my own skin, and sort of be able to look in the mirror and realise that I was beautiful the way I was. And I think it helped them as well, because they felt more able to understand what I'd been through, and they were able to ask questions and kind of engage in conversations with me about how I was feeling and what it had been like for me losing my hair. So it really helped our friendships from both sides. And I'd really encourage anyone who's struggling with their alopecia to open up and talk to their friends, because I know it can feel really hard and it's a bit like pulling off a plaster, but once you do it, you will feel much better for it, and a problem shared is a problem halved. So best of luck in your alopecia journey, and I hope this helps in some way.
Alopecia UK's own Charity Development Manager Jen now shares with us why meeting others with alopecia helped to shape her alopecia journey.
My top tip for coping with alopecia would be to get out there and meet other people with alopecia. I think alopecia can be a really lonely experience. I know for myself, in the first 10 years I didn't meet anybody else, and I just often felt like I was the only person in the world that had this condition and that felt all of these things, and nobody else would understand. 10 years later I met the first person with alopecia, and then it just grew from there, because then Alopecia UK was set up and I was able to meet loads of people through the charity. And so I think the ways in which meeting other people with alopecia has helped me, definitely helped me to feel less alone. It was nice to know that other people felt the things that I felt. It has helped me with practical tips. Meeting other people with alopecia, you pick up tips and practical stuff, different wigs, different ways to do makeup and things like that. And a final thing would be confidence, actually. So now I often take part in awareness things, and being around other people with alopecia gives me the confidence to do that. So my top tip for coping with alopecia would definitely be to meet other people with alopecia, and there are lots of ways that you can do that through Alopecia UK.